What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having an amazing week like always. I'm going to post my links below and pin them real quick, and I'm going to talk about the season premiere of Roseanne. It just aired, one of the most popular shows maybe of all time, most popular sitcoms. It's back on air, and it's definitely has a lot of references to society and what's going on. Let's see if it'll let me pin. Hold on. I tried to pin it, but it's really not that important. I posted the comment if you guys want to like it, so it goes to the top. If not, whatever. It's not a big deal. I just started pinning stuff a few weeks ago, so let's wait about a minute. Thank you guys for joining. First off, I want to say thank you so much for joining and supporting so much. I could imagine I probably get kind of annoying sometimes, especially because I try to get a lot of content out there. So thank you so much for supporting. Your support means the most to me, and I don't just mean financial donations, I mean likes, shares, comments, and just being here, your presence. It means the world to me. It's truly amazing. We keep growing at a huge rate. Everything is on the up and up every single day. It's been an amazing, incredible year. I feel so blessed, and I am forever grateful and humbled by your support. So that's very important. I don't think I've said that enough recently. Thank you so much for being here. We'll wait like 30 more seconds for people to come into the live stream. I posted at the end, I'm going to post my free email list. Please sign up. It takes 10 seconds. This way, regardless of what happens with Google, Microsoft, and Facebook, I know they're all, collecting our data and being weirdos, which is fine. I'm not scared about it. I'm just saying, let's stay connected because the future of the digital world is very unknown. Free email list. I'll post my links to social media and whatnot. So now that people are here, I don't know if you saw the show. I actually don't have a television, so I streamed at my best friend's house. I was like in their living room. I did a FaceTime, and I watched the season premiere of Roseanne. I got to see most of it, which was amazing. It was cool to not only see my good friends and their family, but to watch the premiere because I don't have cable. I wanted to check it out and support Roseanne. I've actually met her a few times in person, so I've got to speak to her personally, not just on the show. And I could tell you that she's the real deal, not just on the show, but in person. In the 90s, her show was one of the most boundary-pushing shows. She was talking about, maybe say marijuana, different types of relationship, LGBT, like true liberal, true, patriot, true pushing the boundaries on society. That's always been her thing, and that's what made her very popular. And also, of course, if people don't know about the Roseanne show, also she was a lower middle class family, just classic American, so she was always very relatable. Her family was just the average American, no filter, and she's really like that in person. She's not really putting on an act. Of course she's playing a character, but she's the real deal. And the new show, I'm not going to ruin specifics. If people haven't watched it yet and they choose to watch it, I'm not going to say the plot. I'm not going to really talk about the characters or anything in specific. I'm just going to let you know it didn't miss a beat. And it's super political, and it's really necessary in today's political climate because you have an extreme echo chamber. And what I try to explain to people and what I think they haven't understood, and hopefully this new Roseanne show can help them understand. Not only was it really, laugh out loud hilarious, super funny, but it was on a South Park Chappelle level of necessary discussion for our society to have. And comedy does that very well. People don't respond well to people who tell them what to think and not, but when it's through comedy and music, like South Park can get people to think, and Chappelle can get people to think, and Roseanne is no different. And she was a conservative type Trump supporter in the show. Maybe not conservative, because even in person, Jimmy Kimmel talked to her last week, and she does support Trump. She's not doing it. I know this for a fact. People accuse me of the same thing. Oh, you're just pretending to be conservative for money and likes and, just to be popular and whatever. And they say the same thing about Roseanne. Oh, she was a liberal. And, people actually get mad at me for posting a picture with her saying, she's a fake liberal, blah, blah, blah. No, she's like I am. She, always was left-leaning, but she was always a deeper left-leaning person. You can find videos of Roseanne talking about MK Ultra, 4 years ago. So she was never your classic liberal. She was like me, broken outside the matrix, but just tended to lean left. And, we saw the totalitarianism, authoritarianism shift. And we just know, we're honest people, so we support Trump for that reason. We're not conservatives. We're not Republicans per se. But, the truth is the truth. And the left has gone so far that they're becoming authoritarian. It's not just that they disagree with me or they disagree with Roseanne or they disagree with conservatives and libertarians. It's that they don't even want these people to exist, and they constantly portray shows where they're lying about who conservatives are, they're lying about who people in Texas are, they're lying about who people in Tennessee and New Jersey and Pennsylvania and, the heart and soul of America and a lot of good families who, they're not doing anything negative. The media is lying about everybody to the point where they don't even want you to exist. They don't want a show like Roseanne's to exist. They don't want an opinion. They've been just lying so profoundly. And not only doing that, trying to do marches. And so it's not just that they disagree. I don't care if people disagree with me or disagree with the Roseanne show. It's the fact that they're like authoritarianism, borderline socialist, Nazi, I don't want to say Nazi, that's a little stretch, but like communist style, like you're not allowed to think that way. If you think that way, like Tim Allen or this, you're not allowed on television. If you say what I don't want you to say, you're going to go to jail. You're fired. You can't work here. This is the type of mentality that people have had. So back to the show, why it's very important. In the show, she is a Trump supporter. And they show a normal family because that's what we're all going through. I talk to people all the time and they say, I watch CNN and my wife watches Fox, or I do, I'm conservative so everybody has family who's mixed. I know multiple families and I know very few families that have no sort of confusion. So, I think it's very necessary for a show like this to come out. It shows the breakdown of the family and it shows the hypocrisy or the inner conflict, of the families, but it shows it from a more logical perspective, in my personal opinion. It shows it from somebody who supports Trump, who is dealing with people, and family members. But most things on television, they show it from an extremely skewed liberal perspective. And I have other names. I call them zombies, or, I make up other funny names for jokes because I don't think they even do true liberalism. I think they're doing liberalism a disservice. I think they're more extremists. So, it's one of the very few shows on television, if the only show on television right now, that is showing comedy and showing politics through the lens of like a person like Roseanne, who's not, not even specifically conservative, which is fine too. Like Tim Allen's show is super conservative, and I watched that with my family, and it's super funny and super accurate, and they had really great jokes that were from a conservative side. But this is showing, society through the lens of like half of America and all the people who voted for Trump and maybe some of the people who voted, Green Party or whatever. And it's just very, very witty stuff, very funny stuff, but most importantly, very necessary. People said, what channel is it on? It's on ABC. So, it's #1 trending on Twitter today. I'm making this video to get the word out there again because, like I said, people think that she's just doing it for the ratings or for the hoo-ha or whatever. No, she really feels this way in real life too, because there's a lot of people like that, and I call it the silent majority, not just conservatives and libertarians who have been, silenced and misrepresented, but there's everybody I talk to. I take Uber and Lyft rides, and I talk to people on the street every day, and I go to these marches, and I see people, and there's a lot of people. They're not going to talk because they don't want to lose their job. They're not going to talk because they don't care that much. They're not going to march because they're worried about their family. But there's tens of millions of people who feel just like we feel. And this is finally a show for the silent majority. It's talking about politics in a non-extremist way. It's talking about politics through the lens of a Trump supporter, or through the lens of somebody who's just like, yo, you guys are being crazy. Like, crazy isn't specifically right wing, and ignorance is not specifically a right wing thing like a lot of left people believe. So it's like it's showing the hypocrisy and the delusion of the extremist left. And I really, really hope that it gets through to a lot of people. I saw mixed reviews on Twitter. Some people were saying, oh my goodness, her new show is right-wing propaganda. Oh my goodness, a perspective that I don't agree with. And that's the type of mentality that got us here, because modern day people with that type of ideology, you're really just an extremist. If you think something basic, because I say all the time, I'm talking about the show, I don't want to get too political, but I personally, as somebody who I don't consider myself a conservative, my analysis of what's going on, and it's up to interpretation or debate or discussion, but the left-wing Democratic Party and the left-wing media and the Jimmy Kimmels and the Trevor Noahs and the Stephen Colberts and the Democratic Party leaders, they're so far left. They're like borderline socialism, borderline communism, not fully there yet, but scary close. So that's as a lifelong, left-leaning person, I see the Democratic Party and the mainstream narrative is so far left, more far left than I've personally ever seen in my lifetime. I look at the Republican Party and I look at conservatives and modern-day libertarians, and they've actually moved left. In my personal opinion, and my personal perspective, which is backed up by facts and reality and all these other things that people seem to ignore just to, take in other people's, opinions and whatnot. The Republican Party has moved left as well. The Republican Party is far left of what the Founding Fathers intended. The Republican Party is even potentially left of the center thing. That's why a lot of conservatives don't like the Republican Party. That's why a lot of conservatives get upset when Trump passes a budget and they say on TV, oh, well, all Trump supporters love the omnibus bill. And I'm like, that's not true at all. I have a lot of Trump supporters and people who support the president on my page, and it was like a 50-50 split of like people were upset. So the news just lies about everything. That's why I'm even here. I'm trying to get down to the truth, and that their perspective is like, conservatives love everything Trump does. It's like, no, that's totally not true. They're very intelligent. They're very intuitive. They have things that they like, but the Republican Party and the average day conservative is a little more left. They're a little more socially tolerant. They don't really care about LGBT anymore. They're just like, leave me alone. Stop raising my taxes. Stop ruining my health care. Stop making my neighborhoods less safe with your stupidity. So that's why someone like me or a Roseanne, while I know the media will try to probably twist it millions of ways, but she's very witty and she's very smart. Like, she went on Jimmy Kimmel and she said, I didn't change. You went so far left that you lost everyone. And Jimmy Kimmel was like, you're probably right. He literally said that. He said, you're probably right. He admitted on air, I'm an extremist. Yes, I'm too far left. Yes, I'm lying. Yes, I'm losing everybody. He's like, I know I'm doing that, but, I'm getting paid $20 million a year or whatever, so who cares? I don't know if that's what he was thinking, but he admitted he knows he's extreme. That's why people like me and Roseanne, we're getting along with conservatives and libertarians a lot more, and people understand us, and because we're true patriots who care about this country, and the average normal liberal has a lot more in common with the conservative and libertarian than the modern day liberal. So a real liberal, we're hand in hand with the conservatives and libertarians now, because we're like on the same page. We're like, man, we're too far left. We need to go further back right, because like, you go too far left, you turn into communism and socialism. I didn't think that was a liberal thing, but like, that's the normal. You got 16-year-old kids on television wearing like Cuba stickers and little communist stickers, and they're like, communism, communism, and the TV's like, hey, these are 15-year-old kids. How dare you disagree with a 15-year-old kid? You're like, what are you talking about? My lifelong ideology was never like, oh, I'm going to listen to 15-year-old kids, and if anybody says otherwise, I'm going to say they're a bad person. It's like, is that modern day liberal, excuse me, blah, 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 blah. Modern day liberalism? If that's the case, then you're going to see me like Roseanne. You're going to see shows like that portray reality in the true light, like she is in the show. And like I said, I'm not going to ruin the plot. There's a lot of funny stuff in it. There's a lot of ultra SJW liberalism. There's a lot of common sense. There's a lot of logic. There's a lot of jokes about it. There's a lot of compromise. There's it's good stuff. It's real America, real family stuff, which got Roseanne popular. And I really want to say, I might be a little, I was hoping the show does well, because I was able to talk to Roseanne a few times, and I've always been a big fan of the show and her approach, but it didn't fall off. Fuller House, in my personal opinion, it was cool, but it was a little corny. It was like they were trying. It's hard to do a remake. They do Jaws 3, 4, 5. They try to skew Batman versus Superman versus Robin versus, they try to exploit everything for money. So, it's hard to make something last, especially 10, 15 years later. I was a little nervous because I was like, man, Roseanne's been off air for a while. They brought Fuller House back. It did well because people want to see it. I knew Roseanne would get the high ratings, but I didn't know how good the show was going to be. But it's actually just incredible. It exceeded my expectations. The writing was good. The acting was good. The character, the plot and stuff was just so relevant. It really, you know, in my perspective, is on a South Park Chappelle type level. We'll see if it lasts the whole season. You know, of course, one episode is not going to do, but it really exceeded my expectations, and I'm so glad to see on television a show that shows the Trump supporter perspective in a positive light, and it's not too far right, where there's a lot of compromise and there's a lot of joking about conservatives, you know, in the right setting too, but it shows the Trump supporter and the conservative or the average American in a positive light, and it shows the liberal, you know, and I don't even, like I said, I don't care if you're left-leaning, but like I said, it's the extremist liberal who thinks that it shows them in a creepy light, like, whoa, you know, kind of foolish. And it's very, very accurate. It's what I see when I go to the marches. You know, that's why Flecka's videos does well. If you guys saw yesterday, I posted I was in Flecka's talks, which, you know, he gets like 200,000 views in like 24 hours every time he goes out. And he doesn't even, it's real reality, because he just goes there with the microphones, lets these people talk, and it's comedy in itself. He doesn't doctor it and he doesn't edit it. It's like these people are walking characters. They don't know what they're talking about. They just follow the news and they just say things that they have no idea about. And it's about time that we have someone on television, not only on television, but in the entertainment industry, going to the Jimmy Kimmels, going to these shows, that's willing to say the truth to the powers that be and break the echo chamber. So it's like, to me, I think I'm always playing chess. Of course, you know, I'm about creativity and authenticity and stuff, but like, I'm playing chess on life, on everything I do. I'm not doing it just to have it fall by the wayside. And this is a huge, huge chess move. The show, not only the show, but the fact that now Roseanne is going to be booking big gigs like Jimmy Kimmel, and she can go to these shows and just be herself. She's not doing right-wing stuff. She's not even right-wing like me. She just goes and tells the truth, and the truth is the most powerful drug on the planet. So when you're in the presence of true energy and you're in the presence of the truth, whether it's on the show or in the interview, people tend to just tell the truth as well. So, you know, when Roseanne says, what do you think about Hillary Clinton's foreign policy? And Jimmy Kimmel's like, well, he's a madman, and I thought you were socially liberal. Now you're out. And then Roseanne says, no, I am still socially liberal. It's you and the entertainment industry. You guys have gone off the deep end. And Jimmy Kimmel's like, yeah, you're totally right. So it's like they're admitting that she's right. It's a great, great thing. It's such a big play for humanity in America. And I'm not just saying that. I truly, truly feel that way. And I'm very, very blessed, you know, that my energy and my videos and also you guys supporting has brought someone like Roseanne, you know, into my life, so I could have real discussions with her and see who she really is and what she's really about. And she's really the real deal. And I know that, and you can see it on Jimmy Kimmel. You can see it in the show. It's not a joke. It's not an act. And it's a powerful, powerful show. And it's more important than people think. I'm really not hyping it up just because I saw her or something. I'm like, oh, I want to pretend like I'm cool. We're living in a society that we're already so far left. We're bordering socialism, communism. There's comedians in other countries that are allied with the United States that are supposed to be democracies that are arresting people from jokes. You have Microsoft. They're announcing that they're going to start banning people based on offensive behavior. Everything that the tech companies do is offensive to me, but I can't ban them. I don't have the power or the tech capacity to do that. But what does that even mean? So this is important for multiple reasons. In culture, we are at a boiling point in multiple things. But it's like one of them is like, how far is artificial intelligence going to go? How far are tech companies going to go? How far is media censorship going to go? How far is the liberal extremist echo chamber going to push to the point where you can't even be yourself and tell the truth without being ganged up by like a march of zombies from whatever the march of the month is, you know? This is what you should march for now because 13-year-olds told you to do it. And they're like, yeah, that makes sense, even though handguns commit most mass murders and I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's like, that's the wave. And, you know, as a normal person, whether you're Green Party or progressive or liberal, it should be a concern. Just like if you had a crazy extremist right-wing leader, it would be a concern to conservatives and Republicans. I would say the same thing, but that's really where we're at. So one of the ways to break the echo chamber and to get people to wake up is through entertainment. The television controls the mind of the masses. Why are they marching? Why do they believe Russia colluded with Trump, even though Trump is being harder on Russia than anyone's been in the past 15 years? He's putting sanctions on them. He's kicking them out of Seattle and out of the embassies. Why do people believe that? Because the TV tells them to be. So this is a bigger deal than people think. Comedy is a bigger deal than people think. Trevor Noah and Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert have a mental monopoly on these extremist leftists to the point where they think what they're doing is normal, but it's really not. I mean, even Trump, it's like a huge taboo thing that she's a Trump supporter in the show. I mean, he's the president. That's embarrassing that's even like a crazy thing. Whoa, someone on television supports the president of the United States. Whoa, let's get her off air. That's so terrible. It's like, what are you talking about? I mean, this is beyond weirdo, extremist stuff. And this is really how we kind of dial people back in. Be like, calm down. Let's talk about it. Like, you could not make sense and you could lie all the time and you could have all these shows, but let's get one show in there that shows an accurate portrayal of what's going on through the lens of somebody who's not completely media-induced by the television. So hopefully this also wakes more people up to be a little braver. And this is another 4D chess move for you guys that I've always thought. When CNN and MSNBC and New York Times and Washington Post and even Fox News, I think they found out this year through people like Tucker Carlson that the truth sells more than the lie. So once Fox News realizes the truth sells more than the lie, Sean Hannity starts telling more of the truth. And, I've been a huge critic of Sean Hannity my whole life. People probably watch my live streams like, oh my God, Anomaly, you're such a Fox News analyst because I can't comprehend the truth because I've been so brainwashed and indoctrinated. That's fine, but I've been if you want to know the real truth, I've been a big critic of Sean Hannity. But he tells more truth now because Fox figured out Trump is telling more truth. This is true. Oh, the truth sells. So if Roseanne can do really, really well, and if people support her, and she's the #1 show, other celebrities might be like, maybe we can not be so fake, and we can still make a lot of money and be successful. That's how the world's going to change. Not only, most importantly, through yourself. Change yourself to change the world. Everybody wants to go out and fix the world, but they're not even good people themselves, and they're not even spiritually and mentally, sound themselves. So how are you going to change the world before you change yourself? That's the #1. But second is through culture, and most importantly, I would say, is through consumerism. They sell what you buy. You know what I'm saying? So they don't sell this stuff if people don't buy it. Why is Stormy Daniels the #1 interview on television? Because people love trashy gossip. That's fine. I'm not mad. I can make a living and I'll be fine. But are they going to stop selling you trash if you keep eating trash, both literally and metaphorically? Of course. So if we can show that truth sells, if we can show that the Trump supporter or the centrist, logical American viewpoint sells, then we can change society and we can change the financial system through that. And that's what a lot of good activists will say. The fake activists, they go and march and they lie to their people and they get their people marching for the Democratic Party. Those are the fake activists. What the real activists say, whether they're a black activist, whether they're a conservative activist, or they'll tell people financial freedom, financial activism, that's how you change, large-scale stuff. So I hope the show does really well. It was a very, very funny show. It was very, very kind towards the conservative. It was very, very kind even towards the Green Party. There was a mention of Jill Stein in there. So, I think progressives who don't like the liberal Democratic Party will be happy. Conservatives will be super, super happy. Centrists will be super happy. And from what I saw on Twitter, there's also a lot of liberals who are happy because same with like a Trump thing. It's like, I like a joke. You can make fun of Trump. You can make fun of conservatives, but it's got to be funny and it's got to be real. If it's funny and real, I'll laugh. I'm not above being made fun of or, having my ideologies made fun of. As long as it's true and it's funny, I'll laugh. And I think more and more liberals are starting to realize, hopefully, that the Democratic Party and the mainstream media is misleading and lying to them. So when they see someone like Roseanne that they love, crack a little joke about them, they can maybe self-reflect and be like, that's true. Or like, hey, I know somebody like that. Or, oh, that's true. She made fun of conservatives and then she made fun of liberals. And, that's something for me to consider. because I've been saying it for the last year, and hopefully people will figure out next year. But I just watched a clip of Andrew Breitbart before he passed away. Rest in peace, Andrew Breitbart. But they said, is Donald Trump a conservative? This was, before he ran, when he was thinking about running. Is Donald Trump a conservative? Andrew Breitbart said, no, of course Donald Trump's not a conservative. So I've been saying this for the last year. Donald Trump is really not a conservative. He's the most liberal Republican that you're ever going to get. He's the most centrist Republican, the most left-leaning Republican, the most open-minded Republican, the least ideological Republican that you're ever going to get. I'm sorry, but I'm telling you the truth. Roseanne's telling you the truth. Jimmy Kimmel's lying to you, and he literally admitted to your face that he's lying to you. He said, you're probably right. Of course you're probably right. You're lying. You're lying, Stephen Colbert. You're lying, Facebook. You're lying, Google. You're lying, Snapchat. You're lying, Twitter. That's fine. You're very powerful. You're very strong. You got billions of dollars. You could buy whatever you want. You got all these mansions. You got planes and stuff. That's great. I'm not trying to take your shine. I'm not trying to take your money. But you're lying to people. Just admit it, like Jimmy Kimmel. Go on air and be like, you know what? I'm a billionaire. I'm a tech company. I'm a social activist. But I'm a huge liar. I'm a huge fraud. I'm misleading America. And I'm not telling you the truth. Just do it. I have more respect for you if you just did it like that. But Donald Trump is not this right-wing crazy person. He's the most left-wing, right-wing person we've ever had. It's just there's so many egotistical, self-centered, little ratty people that are behind the keyboard and, I own the tech company, so I'm so powerful. And then they lie to people. That's like, okay. And then I say something, or Roseanne says something, her show airs, and some people are like, whoa, we can't even handle it. We know you can handle it. We're not far right. We're center of the road. If you can't handle this, if you can't handle what Roseanne is saying, and I don't think there's that many people who feel that way, but if you can't handle that, it's not because we're extremists, it's because you're so far off the left deep end, just a lifelong left-leaning hippie who, just wants peace, love, and positivity, and no war and no violence. Me just stating like a basic, simple truth of like the universe. It's like, whoa, is that right-wing Russian propaganda? No. I know it sounds strange. I know it's a little bit weird to consider that Snapchat's lying to you, that Facebook's lying to you, that Twitter's lying to you, that Google's lying to you, that the Democratic Party's lying to you, that almost every television station's lying to you, that Trevor Noah's lying to you, that Jimmy Kimmel's lying to you, that Stephen Colbert's lying to you, that Rachel Maddow's obviously lying to you. I know it's a hard concept. NBC's lying to you, CNN's lying to you, the New York Times is lying to you, Washington Post is lying to you, and then they combine with the liars. They're like, Facebook, we're going to combine with those liars, and we're going to tell you what's fake news and real news, and then the YouTube algorithms are filtered and censored, so then when you search, the first 7 things you find are the fake news that I just told you about. I know it's a weird, hard concept to even consider and imagine, but what if it was true? What if I wasn't that off? What if Roseanne wasn't that outlandish? She is outlandish. She's a wild, wild girl. But, on a political level, people think she's so wild. The truth is stranger than fiction, my friends. That's all I'm going to say. Sometimes the crazy people are the people that aren't so crazy. So that's all I'm saying. It's a very, very, very amazing first episode, way better than I thought it was going to be. The script was good. The satire was good. It was a play on society on a South Park level, still maintaining what it was. I'm not going to be surprised if it's the #1 show on television. It was the #1 trending thing on Twitter. People love to talk about Trump. Trump is the #1 trending person in the universe. Every single thing he does is a hit. It's everywhere. It's like, oh, Trump said this, Trump said this. He's the talk of the town. Everything Trump does is so captivating. So you have Roseanne, one of the biggest shows ever on television, one of the biggest sitcom hits ever, top 10 sitcoms of all time, top 20, depending on your list. Rebooted, which is already going to be a big deal. Now she's a Trump supporter. She has Hillary supporters in the show. They're talking about Jill Stein. Huge win for the Green Party and even for the Libertarians. Third party being mentioned on television. This is revolutionary stuff, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a #1 hit show. It already is a society shifter. Even going on Jimmy Kimmel and speaking truth. As people said, in times of chaos or in times of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, and we have gotten to that point where everything is so skewed one way. If you just come and stand strong and just say a basic truth in the times of these chaos, it becomes a revolutionary act, and it's spreading like wildfire. It's flowing like an ocean. It's a beautiful time to be alive, and the wave is on our side, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember, left-leaning or right-leaning, whether you're super liberal or super conservative, these people are not your enemy. They're good people, kind-hearted people, good souls, good minds. They might be a little tainted. Maybe we have something to learn. Maybe they have something to learn. Just keep an open mind. Don't be hateful. Be grateful. Have conversations. Start to, bring people together. You got people out here. Start bringing them together a little bit. Have these conversations, and we might realize, not be so stubborn. Make compromises, and we'll find out we're not that different. We've been divided. We've been divided by phony television shows. We've been divided by phony media. They're liars. They are liars. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a liberal. They are lying. Trump is not that right wing. They're liars. He says turn a fence into a wall, and they say it's racist. Oh, well, he said it's racist because a fence into a... No, they're liars. They just lie, and people believe it. Oh, the fence into a wall, it's really racist. Ugh. No, they've lied so consistently. They've tweaked everyone's brains and made them extremists, and it's okay. I'm not mad at it. I'm ready to debate anyone, anywhere. Bring it on. Just let's start closing the gaps and stop being so ridiculous, because this presidency is a very special presidency. You have someone in the Republican Party who's not a Republican. You have someone in the White House who is not a puppet. This is the best time ever to be alive, folks. We're talking on a little rectangle. I'm sitting on a couch. This is a great time to be alive. It's not a time to hate. It's not a time to be negative. It's not a time to make right-wing, left-wing conspiracies. It's a time to realize we don't have a puppet in the White House. We don't have a Republican in the White House. We have the power now more than ever, regardless of who's president. But let's stop with the BS. Let's hopefully let shows like this thrive and, add a little bit to culture, and let's make the world a better place. Let's stop the hate. Thank you guys so much for joining. So, just to wrap it up, Roseanne was an amazing show. So many gems in there, a lot of very witty stuff, and a huge, a lot of laughs, most importantly, very funny, but a lot of necessary statements on societies and a perspective that they are trying to delete from humanity. It's not even that you have to agree with what I say or what Roseanne says, but it's like a revolutionary thing that she exists. That's how far off the spectrum we gone. It's like they don't even want us to exist. So let's take this and let's support somebody like this, and let's hopefully, we have to, because once they close the door on somebody and close the door on somebody, we're this close from the whole door being completely closed on everybody. And that's not a good thing, no matter if you're left-leaning or right-leaning, no matter if it's coming from the left wing or right wing. We need a diversity of thought, and we need a real discussion that's not based off of, phony emotions and, not like, super... whatever. I've said enough. Thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to post my links below if you'd like to support. I'll push my donation link. It's called Donor Box. It's like Patreon. I just personally like it better than Patreon. Most people use Patreon. I use Donor Box. I'm going to post it below. My free email list. Even if you got to eat, you know what I'm saying? Go on vacation, buy yourself shoes. I don't care what you do. It's not my business. But I'm saying I have a free email list. You can sign up to that. It's free, and this way, once a month, we can stay connected regardless of what happens on social media. I'll probably post my Instagram link or something if you're into that. It's nice to diversify a little bit, because if something happened on Facebook, I'd be a little bit out of luck. So always nice to find people who find my YouTube and all those other things. Just search Anomaly, AN0MALY. That's all you need to know. Legendary.vision for booking. If you want to say something nice, or mean, I guess you really could if you want, but I'd prefer probably not. Thank you guys for joining. Have an amazing week. I'll be back later.